A quite probable way of doing it is to choke in your own puke, for example. Not a very good thing. And it can be preceded by all kinds of humiliations. So it's not that you're going to die and you're resigned or reconciled to that as part of life. It's that the sentence includes that you be tortured for a bit before you die. And so I now feel a slight bravado about what I wrote there. I would still, if it were possible, like to be awake and looking at people, and if I'm lucky, talking to them. But I'm not so sure I would insist on it. It might be as well to sort of slip away in a narcotic stupor. It might be. But still, there's something about that, may sound very old-fashioned thing to say, strikes me as a bit ignoble. As I say, it's part of life. I want to get as much out of it as I can.
How much during this period have you talked about this kind of thing with Carol Blue, your wife?
Well, a lot, because she's been a great prop and stay for me. She does things I don't like to do. Going on the internet, looking up every conceivable ramification of treatment and possibility. Tirelessly looking for new doctors and new avenues and things like that. So we talk a lot about it. About losing, about what would happen when I've gone, we actually barely have talked about that. My determination is that I'm not going to die of it. I'm not going to die of it now. I might die with it, perhaps some years from now. That is a possibility. And I'm certainly going to do everything I can to be an experimental subject for other treatments, even if they don't work for me. I feel that would be, I say in the book, I quote the great American scholar Horace Mann, who said, "Till you've done something for humanity, you should be ashamed to die." So it's quite a high standard to reach. Well, that would be doing something for humanity. At a fairly small cost to myself, even if it involved protracting the treatment unnecessarily, I'd be willing to do it.
In the middle of all this, a couple of weeks ago, you debated Tony Blair in Toronto.
Well, I've carried on debating on this and other questions.
But we covered it, and I want to run just a clip of you making some points. He's sitting on the stage there with you. Let's watch that, and we'll come back and ask you about that.
As long as you don't want your religion taught to my children in school, given a government subsidy, imposed on me by violence, any of these things, you are fine by me. I would prefer not even to know what it is that you do in that church of yours. Well, I don't. In fact, if you force it on my attention, I will consider it a breach of that pact. Have your own bloody Christmas and so on. Do your slaughtering, if possible, in an abattoir, and don't mutilate the genitals of your children.